Tonight on the House of Tiny Tearaways, there's a new kid on the block, and the rest of them get their feet well under the table.
We don't have a relationship, we just both live in the same house.
No! Bed! No!
She's a lot more sexual partners than me.
Are you?
This is the House of Tiny Tearaways. Two families are already in. They're preparing for their first night in the house. We've already had our fair share of tears and tantrums, and I can tell you, there's a lot more to come.
What?
You've heard to me.
When relationships are at breaking point.
I love my little girl so much, and sometimes I really hate her dad.
Young families are on the edge.
Out now! Now! Lie down!
Flee! Mum, I'm not getting busted around no more!
And the kids are out of control.
Stop fighting me!
Stupid.
This is where they come, the House of Tiny Tearaways. Two of the country's leading child psychologists, Laverne and Elizabeth Kilby, are on hand to provide intensive therapy for these young parents. To do this, they'll be able to watch up to 24 hours a day via remote cameras and those hidden behind mirrors.
To really understand why children act up, I'm going to have to look at the whole family system. There might be some uncomfortable truths ahead.
I don't want you to hate me.
We've done the right way about it.
Paul, don't go just yet.
I'm getting angry.
Living here means the parents and their kids can behave as normally as possible, free from distractions.
There is no telly.
If these families are committed to making progress, they've got to be prepared to listen to us.
No, I just want to go home.
Go on then, walk away, little boy.
Shut up.
Walk away.
All the young parents coming into the house over this month-long TV event are hoping that Laverne and Elizabeth can make a real difference to their lives, but whether they can remains to be seen.
What a bunch of weirdos.
"17-year-old parents Paul and Becca are here to get help with their 11-month-old baby Lacey's sleep routine. But the teenagers' relationship is rocky, and after a massive row last night, they nearly didn't come into the house.
Paul hasn't put his bag down. He's not sure if he's staying home.
After an emotional one-to-one with Laverne, Becca revealed that their arguments are mostly about sex.
I would give you cuddles and that, Paul, but you always try something else. And you know I don't want it. I just do it to shut you up.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
28-year-old David and 21-year-old Sammy have brought their 3-year-old triplets, Lewis and the identical girls, Lily Sue and Taylor Jean, and 4-month-old baby Alfie, to try and tame the triplets' terrible behaviour and sort out their sleep routine before Sammy has baby number 5.
In your beds.
After closely observing all day, Elizabeth and Laverne have noticed David does most of the parenting, and Elizabeth pulled Sammy up about her less than hands-on approach.
Sometimes I'm watching you and I can't tell if you're the mum or if you're one of the triplets.
The pressure's now on for Elizabeth and Laverne to sort out these kids and their parents. And just to add to the strain, there's another young mum and her swearing toddler still to arrive. It's 6:15 and David and Sammy are making dinner.
Kids, sit down.
I'll do it if you want.
After David gave up work as a painter-decorator to help care for the triplets, it's him they end up listening to, but only when he shouts, and he does quite a bit of that.
Oh,
What's the matter?
milk all over.
Oh, you're having a laugh. Who's done that?
Me.
You.
Swear to God.
And like at home, it's Dad who's left to deal with it.
What happened? Yeah, but what did you do? Get it all over that.
Must have been good and eating a tea. Probably because I'm hungry.
Right, just put your drink down, right, and get your tea eaten, please. Come on. Sit back. I'll eat some tea. Come on. Don't be drinking that milk and then not eating your tea.
Put the milk down. Spilt milk all over again.
Are you taking the milk?
Taylor, eat your tea.
Oh, don't do milk.
What are you doing? Get your feet down now and eat properly.
While Sammy seems happy to laugh rather than cry over a little spilt milk, David's left to be the parent and clean up the mess.
So it's not really about the kids, is it?
I think we've got to hold on to the fact these parents have come in saying our children aren't behaving well. In fact, they're behaving quite badly. What we're beginning to uncover is that there are real fractures in the parent-couple relationship that are leading to their children expressing themselves in this way.
Often the children's behaviour is a kind of warning or a signpost or a way of flagging attention up that actually something's happening in my family that I'm not happy about.
The pressure of teenage parenting means that 17-year-olds Paul and Becca's relationship is suffering, and physical intimacy has become a major bone of contention.
Playing with that.
You all right?
Yeah.
Their emotional consultation earlier today showed that there's still a lot of work to be done.
You've only come to me for a lighter. No, I'm not shushing. They're going to see you.
Looks like another knockback for Paul. It's 20 to 8 and time for Becca and Paul to put Lacey to bed. Elizabeth and Laverne have told both young couples they need to crack on with sleep routines exactly how they would do it at home. From tomorrow night they'll be on hand to support them through it, but tonight they have to go it alone. While Paul's taken on the role of spectator, Becca's taking the lead, putting baby Lacey to bed.
Wait! No, wait!
Eventually Paul decides to get involved.
Coming out. No.
Why are you turning it into a joke for?
I'm scared to laugh.
So horrible.
Can't really do anything right, can they?
Because of me, it's shame to go to sleep. She thinks I'm going to play with her.
Yeah, I know. It's you who's doing it.
Charles.
No, Daddy, go in. Leave him alone.
I'll be back.
Screaming little monkey. Screaming little monkey. No need to cry. Stop it. No. Look at me. No.
Becca's attempt to make her 11-month-old daughter see reason seemed to be falling on deaf ears.
You can't come out.
While teen parents Becca and Paul only have one little angel to get to sleep, Sammy and David are beginning their nightly trip to Triplet Purgatory.
Lily's tired.
Time for bobos. How are you? How's some get your bed, mate? Come on. How are you? How's some get your bed? You get in your bed, babe? How are you?
There you go. You're going to get into bed.
How are you? How are you? How are you, doll? How are you? Lay down. Right, how are you? Let's go out the room and shut the door.
Oh dear, they're so tired.
You'd just put them into bed, wouldn't you?
Come on. Night night.
They don't like it, they're scared.
What else are we supposed to do, Sammy?
I don't know.
I don't know what else to do, Sammy, with them. Come on, go get in your beds.
Encouragingly, Sammy is taking on board Elizabeth's advice and is being more hands-on with the triplets. It's just the wrong time of day.
Right, what should we sing?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the
sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Get it, watch him.
How I wonder what
Get in your bed right now. Not having that off you. Don't ruin it for everyone else just because you're in a bad mood.
Get in your bed.
After their burst of song, Lewis, Taylor and Lily are not feeling very sleepy. So Sammy and David come up with another idea.
We'll go get a nice warm milky drink. Do you know what? Will you get them a biscuit, David?
Yeah.
And with biscuits on offer, the triplets decide to make the most of the party and start breaking out the toys.
You take the mick now. No. Not playing with toys. Getting sick now.
Still convinced that bright lights and songs is the best way to get the kids to sleep, the cabaret continues.
The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 all day long. Right, what next?
Bed, perhaps?
Incy
Spider climbed up the water spout. Right, we're gonna go to bed.
It's time for bed, babe. It's late.
Already half an hour into bedtime and David has another go at putting the kids to bed. But now they're wide awake and Mum's lost her appetite for song.
Bed now. Bed now. I'm shocked, my throat's hurting.
Lie down. Lie down. Stay there. Well then, stay in your beds. Lie down. We're only next door.
It looks like David's losing his patience too.
Bed now. Bed. Move. Now. Move. Get in there. Lewis, you do this every night. Get into your beds now. Put your hands together. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands up on your knees. Yay! Right, no, bedtime now. Mummy, go sleep. You lie down, Mummy, go sleep. Oh. Mum, go to sleep. Mummy's tired.
Please, come on. It's time for Bobo. It's time to go to bed.
Pingu and Millie were having so much fun looking at all the animals. Can Mummy and Daddy go to bed now? Yeah, night night.
It's now 9:20 and Sammy and David have spent an hour and 20 minutes trying to put the triplets to bed and have finally given up. But with no more entertainment, the triplets decide to call it a night unaided. It's 10:30, and with all the children finally tucked up in bed, apart from 4-month-old Alfie, the young couples get a chance to relax.
We met before we went out.
Then did you like just start going out with each other straight away?
No, well, we went out for 2 weeks and then we split up for a while and then we're back out again.
Yeah.
Becca begged for me to
I
come
wouldn't
back.
What?
let them.
He begged for me to come back too.
No, I didn't.
He begged for me to go back
No, I
home.
didn't.
Yeah, you did.
It was you.
No, you rang me up and asked me that time, I remember. We had an argument, we weren't so we could talk, we never talked to each other the whole day, and then she rang me up later on and said she wanted to go back out.
No domestic.
I remember. Who was your first, guys? Was it each other? Oh.
What do you mean?
First, as in sexual partners.
Yeah.
No.
What, for the pair of you it wasn't?
She's had a lot more partners than me.
Are you?
Really?
Yeah.
Will you shut up?
What age?
I'm not saying.
What age?
Not saying.
Come away.
Not saying.
What age?
Like you
Me?
didn't want to say his dad.
15.
15.
So I was 15.
But actually, really, I'm only 13.
Was it younger than 14?
No.
Oh.
I'm only 13 now. Oh God, I'm not 4 kids. I'm only 13. Should be in like the sun and pick me up and all of that.
No, I was 14.
I see. I'm scared about someone else coming in. Do you know? Because we're getting on really well, and it's gonna like.
See, truthfully, I don't know whether they would have done this tonight if they were coming, because it's sort of not getting
See,
to know
I'm gonna
them,
find
really.
hard if a single man comes in. Do you know, single?
Yeah.
Because that would be like. It'd be,
Supposed to be as I think, single, isn't it?
you wouldn't. Can you imagine sitting here with like couples and then the
Yeah,
last?
I'd sort of feel a bit like-
awful. Do you know?
Yeah.
The peace doesn't last long for Becca and Paul when just before 11 p.m, baby Lacey wakes up.
It's just
Becca.
gone.
Do you reckon it's because of the baby?
She's breathing funny.
It's probably just the sound.
No, she's going.
She might be dreaming.
Isn't it? Go on then.
She might be dreaming or something.
Go on then. Go. Oh, you walk slow, yeah. Do what you like.
You're right. Sleep down to mummy.
As Paul lives at home with his dad and not with Becca in the mother and baby unit, he isn't used to this situation and he takes the easy option.
She won't go out to sleep.
Don't shut the door.
Ella.
Can you be brother?
Ella.
With Lacey tucked up in bed, it looks like Paul and Becca are trying to build bridges.
You got moth in your trousers.
Where?
Don't step in it.
Moffy.
Moths are apparently supposed to be spirits in it. Full of rubbish. Yeah, there's big trees.
Nice
Hello,
night.
losers.
Don't call them losers, they're not losers. We're the losers, look at us.
Elizabeth and Laverne have asked everyone to record video diaries so that they can reflect on the day's events.
Hopefully me and Paul can repair our sexual relationship and our physical relationship in a major way, and simply just try and get along and talk to each other like actual people, not like dirt. But with Lacey, I just hope that is the main improvement, because she's more my focus than me and Paul. She's my baby after all, and she's more important to me.
David is next in the hot seat.
I'm trying to think if I'm trying to learn things about myself, you know what I mean? I don't really think I know anything different about myself. Apart from maybe I should let Sammy do more instead of me doing everything, taking over the kids. Because I think that's what I've done too much in the past. So I think I need to let Sammy take the reins a bit more. That's about all I've got to say.
Earlier today, Sammy had a consultation with Elizabeth, who showed her some footage of David talking about their relationship.
Lately, these last couple of weeks, it's been where I've just wanted to pack my bags and go. So what was this video you seen then?
When you done the interview, a separate one.
What did you say?
Something about you leaving me.
Did you watch it all?
No, why?
Oh, that's alright.
Why?
So you didn't see when I nearly broke down crying?
No.
It was fun.
Why?
I don't know.
See me break down cry those times.
Yeah, but you're alone. That's what
Yeah,
we
but you
do.
need to open up to me more.
That's what happened to you.
Yeah, but not like that. I want you to cry on me, baby. I don't give you enough support. I'm finding it quite hard, you know. I knew I would want people telling me things that I know, but I don't want to believe.
But do you think they're doing it in a good way or
Yeah,
they're doing it in a bad way?
but obviously I'm going to think in a bad way. At first I thought it was funny, because I didn't like it. It was all giggly still. And then it was like, it hit me when we got in the consultation room. I was like, oh my God. It's going to change.
I mean, after this show will let down, it will change us. Might make us realise what we've got.
Yeah.
It's gone midnight, and while Sammy and David are cozying up in bed, Paul finds himself sleeping alone. After plenty of sleep this afternoon, a restless Becca's up and about in the kitchen and has clocked that the cameras are watching her.
Can't sleep. It's horrible. You guys are so intimidating. I'm so scared. Especially that Laverne. Scary bird. Ooh. Nah, she's nice really, down to earth, but scary.
Looks like the midnight feast's over. Becca looks pretty safe as Paul is so sleepy he can barely manage a kiss. It's the start of the second day. Yesterday, Elizabeth and Laverne spent most of the day observing how the young parents interact with their kids and with each other. But today, the intensive therapy begins. Sammy's trying to put the triplets' microphone packs on, but they've got other ideas.
Come on then. You, Taylor Lewis, come on.
Hello? Yeah? No, bye.
After watching the epic event that was Sammy and David getting their kids to sleep, Elizabeth and Laverne are busy discussing last night's sleep routine.
It was completely high scale, noise, lights on, chaos, suddenly to bed. I mean, what child can make that transition from activity and stimulation to sleep instantly? It's not going to work.
I felt for them yesterday because I felt that we'd worked so hard with them. And there was Sammy at the end of the day. And I think you tapped into something for her about, you know, what it's like to be a mum, to play with your children, spend time with them.
Yes.
And she tried to do it all at night.
Taylor Jean, come on then. I thought you wanted it on. So what are you crying for? Just to be a pain in the backside? Oh well, I'll let Daddy deal with you.
I said to Sammy very clearly yesterday, I don't want to hear you say, David, do it. Just getting the guys dressed this morning, out of her mouth 3, 4, 5 times. I'm going to get your dad, David, come and do it. So perhaps me doing some work with her, because I really want to get behind this mum and say to her...
You've got that relationship with her already, and I think that you started something with her yesterday, and so for me to come in would really sort of upset it a little bit. And David, you know, I've had to go in and I've talked to him about, you know, the way in which he lifts the children up, and my worry. I mean, I just feel uncomfortable watching it, and there's no warning for it. So I want to get him in, and I think, you know, he's got to see that we can't allow him to do that in the house.
In the yellow suite, Becca has managed to wake up Lacey, but she hasn't had the same success with Paul.
Right.
But like most teenage boys, he's not a morning person.
Yeah. Is that funny? So Daddy, get up.
With barely any signs of life coming from Paul, Elizabeth and Laverne turned to Lacey joining the adult party last night.
The big story for them is getting Lacey to bed. And last night, well, it seemed to me that they hadn't really thought together about what Lacey needs and what they need to do. And the constant other thing that's running through this family and this relationship is, I just keep seeing time and time again, Becca rejecting Paul.
When I have seen sort of clips of Becca doing that rejecting and rebuffing of Paul, it is so painful, and I can see on Paul's face that he feels this rejection so deeply. And I'm wondering about Paul's history and about Paul's background, and I think when Becca is pushing him away, she is tapping into something very deep with Paul, and Becca has no idea that she's doing this.
To watch how these young parents control their kids, Elizabeth and Laverne have put a nice big bowl of sweets in the living room that would tempt any child. Yesterday, Laverne confiscated the sweet bowl after neither the kids or parents could keep their fingers out of it.
Good morning. Good morning.
Today, they've decided to give the adults another chance to prove they can monitor the children and sacrifice their own sweet tooth in the process.
I think it's good that they're there. Because it shows see if we can, control them.
Yeah.
No.
Lewis.
Lewis, no. Come here now. Lewis. Lewis, please get off. Lewis, come here.
If you're good, right, you can have one sweet soon. Right, but you have to be good.
Right, come here then.
Come on. Mr. Man.
Reluctantly, Lewis is prepared to listen to the grown-ups for once. Since she's been in the house, 21-year-old Sammy Butters has switched from Mother of the Year nominee to not. Their emotional consultation earlier today showed that there's still a lot of work to be done.
What are you doing? Get your feet down now and eat properly.
Elizabeth and Laverne want to get them both out of this habit. So Elizabeth takes Sammy off for a lesson on how to cope alone with the triplets, while David watches on with Laverne.
I want to see you being in charge of them, keeping control of them. I don't want them straying off.
Yeah.
Okay, giving really clear instructions. Sammy, Alfie's rolling down the hill.
Elizabeth has set up a ball pool in the garden, and with Mum's help, the triplets have to find the hidden rubber ducks and put them in a basket. So how will Sammy cope without Super Dad David?
That's a duck, for an example.
Can you see these ducks? Yeah. in there, in the ball pit, right? There's 8 ducks, and you've got to find them. You've got to do it really, really fast. Yeah, can you do it? Yeah. Right, go on then. Go find the ducks.
Ready, go.
And bring them to Mummy.
Sammy, you've got to keep an eye on Alfie as well.
Yeah. Shh. Find the ducks, Lewis. Come and put the duck in here, Lewis.
See, when she does play them, she's really good. You know what I mean? When she does.
But you're thinking it just doesn't happen?
It doesn't happen enough, you know what I mean? There's odd times she'll do it, and then a lot of times she's like, I can't be bothered. It's a very hard person to live with.
Yeah.
She really is, yeah.
Because?
Because she's always up and down. You don't
of
know
the
what,
moods,
yeah.
you don't know
because of
what's
the
gonna
mood, yeah. I call her Jekyll and Hyde, I say she's got split personality.
So if Elizabeth wasn't there now, you're saying that by now she would have maybe lost her temper and she would have asked you to step in?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Even for, you know, something that was fun? Okay, so it doesn't matter, it's anything?
No, it doesn't matter what it is.
Okay, well I think we might have seen enough now. I mean, I think Sammy's going to be okay, isn't she?
She's doing really well. I was quite surprised.
Tell me a little bit more about how it is for you as the father, because you've given me a few hints there that you feel that you're the one that takes on responsibility.
I'd say, so if I feel like I'm the one who does everything, you know what I mean? I'm like the dad and the mum, all rolled in one. I'll give you a typical day, you know what I mean? On the morning, I'll get up, Sammy will stay in bed, I'll get the kids up, I'll get Alfie up, I'll get the kids the breakfast, and then Sammy will get up about 10 o'clock, and then it'll come to like tea time, I'll do the tea, the kids won't eat the tea, so then it's a case of I get angry, you know what I mean, and get annoyed, and then I tell the kids off, and then it's a case of it's bath time, then bedtime, and then it's like, say, it starts at night time.
So really, the divide is that Dave does the bulk of it.
Yeah, Dave does the of everything.
So you don't feel like you've got a partner in this?
No, I don't. I just like to say I feel like she's a kid. Some lads would just sit on the backside and say, no, you do it. You know what I mean? They're your kids, you deal with it. Whereas I wouldn't, you say? You know what I mean?
Because they're our kids.
Yeah, they're our kids, yeah, exactly.
But I suppose it's the hour that we've got to bring into this relationship a bit more.
Not just my kids.
Because at the moment it does feel like they're your
I'll admit,
kids.
sometimes I do say that. They're my kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why she says, well, yeah, so your kids, will you deal with them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we've got to open this up a little bit, because if Sammy's going to take her part, you've got to let her in. And we've got to somehow manage your shock, anger, anxiety. Well, that's what I do normally. I mean, that's one of the things that I keep hearing you say, you know, you get a bit angry. So tell me a little bit about that.
I don't know, I'd say it, Chuff. I mean, end of the day, I mean, my dad was a nasty piece of work, you know what I mean, when I was a kid, but he used to smack me with belts and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, well, he was a nasty bloke, but I don't know, I wouldn't say it was because of that, you know what I mean? I don't really remember him that much, but that's why I get frustrated, you know what I mean? Because I don't know what is bringing it on, you know what I mean?
Where it comes from.
Yeah.
But actually, when you've had a parent who has used that form of discipline, it can be quite difficult to move away from it.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't want that to be your option.
Yeah, I get annoyed as well when people say, oh, like my mum says, oh, you like your dad, you know what I mean? And I say, no, I'm nothing like him, you know what I mean? Apart from, like you say, the short fuse.
So that's a worry, isn't it?
Yeah,
that actually,
it is.
You know, you're like him in that there's a short fuse, and she's worried about what that short fuse might lead to.
Yeah.
So I just want to show you something.
Yeah,
and you know,
no problems.
Give you an idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at it.
I'm going to slap you in a minute.
I'm just tired. I want to get a bath.
So am I, babe. I'm tired. It's been a long day, right? You know what I mean? Not the only one that's tired, you know.
Right. Can I go to sleep?
No.
You need there. I know.
Okay. Very, very quick piece of footage, but it comes out of the blue.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's very quick. And it's quite worrying.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. That's what I said I need to work on. I do.
What do you think Sammy thinks about your anger?
I don't know. I mean, I think she does get scared, you know what I mean? I think there is times when I have, like say we've been arguing and I have got like really angry, you know what I mean? And see, I get scared because I know the kids hear us arguing, you know what I mean? And I'm scared to see us like fighting.
And I'm sure that's why they're so up and down in the way that they behave. So you can see that there's a direct link to, you know, kids get worried and agitated if they see their parents disagreeing.
Yeah.
But how you can both talk about what's going to happen if we get to this point.
For me, we're not like a couple. We're not like, we don't have a relationship. You know what I mean? We just both live in the same house. We both look.
That's a pretty strong
it is,
thing to say, though.
No, it is.
But you don't feel you have a relationship?
No. I haven't felt that for a long time. I've told her that. There's a big part of me, you know what I mean, a massive part of me that's like, I wish I could just pack my bags and just go. And like I say, if I had the money or if I had a job and somewhere to go, I think I probably would do.
Really?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I know it sounds a bad thing, doesn't it? That's why I want to work things out, you know what I mean? I think
it sounds an amazing thing, given the person that's, you know, I've been watching and that's sitting in front of me, that if you had the ability to be independent, then you would
Oh yeah,
do that.
I would be.
But what about the kids?
That's what I'm saying. That's how bad I feel inside. You know what I mean? So I love the kids to bits. The kids are my life. You know what I mean? But that's how bad things are.
So I mean, you know, suddenly I feel quite worried because it feels like we're at breaking point.
David goes to find Sammy, who after her successful stint on her own with the kids, is keen to get some praise.
Yeah.
I knew you, Dad.
I tell you what, I've just heard myself talking. Oh my God, do I sound like a Geordie or what?
Did you watch me do that activity?
Yeah. I sound like a proper Geordie. You should have heard my voice.
Look, that's all you can talk about is how you sound. Off.
We've been that far.
I'll just go away, David.
But with David's thoughts still on his consultation, Sammy's insecurities are back with a vengeance.
That's pretty strong. I mean, this man is such an amazing dad. You see David with the triplets and with Alfie and you think, but he's saying it's so bad that he'd leave. Were you shocked?
I was really shocked, but then I thought, do you know what? I think he's talking about the enormity of this task.
I just wonder whether he threatened Sammy with that.
I think he probably does say it to her, and I think he probably says it in a really angry way. And she's got used to it, and she thinks, actually, no, you won't go anywhere, because you know that if you do leave, actually the triplets won't have me, because she's not very available to them.
How are you going to resolve it?
Well, the thing is, I'm so shocked. I'm grappling with whether or not, you know, get Sammy in and get him to tell her, but I actually think that she's not going to be able to cope with that in front of me. I think that it's something that they play out together, and maybe they believe it or they don't believe it, but I think adding me to the mix, Sammy might be so furious, and who knows what she'll do.
It's extraordinary that men say that. Women are used to men going, I'll just get up and leave. I mean, I don't think he will, and I think David's great, but it's a horrible thing to hold over the mother of your kids, isn't it?
I think it's a dreadful thing. I mean, I still feel very shocked from it, but I think that David this house has made him feel forced into that position. And I think he knows that I'm watching, that Elizabeth's watching, and it must look terrible. And at times it does look terrible because you think, Sammy, do something.
Yeah.
So I think in a way he was coming in to see whether or not I thought it was okay. And I think he was slightly surprised at my reaction.
Yeah, he was looking at your face. I loved it because he was just like, that's a bad thing to say.
Yes.
And you were like, well, yeah, well, you were sort of non-judgmental, but
I think he almost wanted me to say, oh, I can really understand.
Yeah.
And because I didn't do that, I think it slightly threw him.
yeah.
Right.
It's mid-morning,
Off. What are you crying for?
and with the intensive therapy underway, Elizabeth and Laverne are forcing the young couples to open up.
I wish I could just pack my bags and just go.
I just have Alfie and I want the triplets.
But will this be enough to reunite them
Will you shut up?
and sort out their kids' behaviour? Still to come, the tension mounts with another imminent arrival.
Okay, new family to add to the mix, the Perkins.
This swearing toddler is driving his mum mad.
Ethan, no, that's not nice.
Do you want me to wash your mouth out with soap?
In Somerset, 21-year-old Danielle Perkins is finding life as a single mum a nightmare because of hell-raising 2.5-year-old Ethan.
I got wet feet now, have you?
Tea time, lunchtime, bedtime, bath time, it's a constant battle with him.
If he's tired and he's aggressive, they hit you.
Don't kick me!
If he can't do that, he'll pick an object up in here, throw it at you.
I smack you.
No, put it down.
Stop me.
Oi! Swearing, major issue if he's being told off or he gets told no.
Yeah?
Listen,
Yeah.
that is very naughty to swear at Mummy.
Off.
Eating is a chore for Ethan. He'd rather make a mess and plaster all over my house than just sit there nicely and eat it.
Mummy make me mad if I've been naughty.
Bought him 2 rabbits, thinking he had something to feed and give water to. That didn't work because when they're in my house one day, he picked one of them up and dropped him and kicked the other one across the front room. He'd constantly chase them, scare the poor little things.
Danielle's mum, Debbie, lives round the corner and is a constant shoulder to cry on.
As hard as it is for me to say, a lot of the time I think Danielle is the instigator. She starts it and then he's just aggressive back.
Get out your mouth! Get out your mouth! That is dangerous. Do not put that in your mouth. Shut up.
Why you just said it?
I didn't say anything.
Just said it. Just said it.
The combined pressure of splitting up with Ethan's dad 18 months ago, along with Ethan's bad boy behaviour, has turned Danielle's life upside down.
I love Ethan to bits, but he stopped me from doing what I should be doing at 21 and having a good job and earning a good wage and going out and meeting friends and having fun. If we go to the local play centre, I don't tend to interact with other mothers because when I walk in I feel they're looking their nose down at me. That, oh, here's another young mum, she won't be able to control her child. I feel very isolated. I don't know, I just think maybe he would have sometimes a better life away from me if he had a different mum.
I don't know how you felt. When I was watching that, I feel terribly sorry for her, but it was like watching 2 21-year-olds have an argument. You started it. No, you didn't.
Well,
F off, shut up.
2 7-year-olds.
2 7-year-olds. It was sort of...
But the thing is, after I got over the shock, it's actually quite sad. They've got this boy who's out of control with his language, and, you know, I don't want to hear it, actually, and we've got to be very clear about that straight away. But then we've got a mum who gets dragged in, and then she says, shut up as well, and I think, what, you know, how do you expect him to be any different?
She seemed to resent him a lot. There was a lot of, this is not what I should be doing. I should be out drinking, I should be having fun, I should be having a job. How are you going to deal with that? You want to go, well, but you made the choice to have a baby. Am I being mean?
This really struck a chord, actually, because this, for me, really underpinned what I think is going wrong in the relationship between Mum and Ethan. She does care very deeply about him, but he's really pushing her to the limit and she's really struggling with how her life should be.
Will she feel very lonely in the house? Because we've got 2 other couples. How are you going to make her feel safe, I suppose?
The house is not supposed to be a comfortable place.
Yeah.
It is about her facing her worst nightmare, but in a fairly controlled and supportive environment.
This is a good point.
You know, I mean, I think, why not have her in the house at this point where we do get all the bad behaviour, and I think this is an opportunity for her to really think, OK, this is what it feels like. Great, that's great stuff for Elizabeth to be working with.
Wow. Look at it, isn't that lovely?
As Danielle and her 2.5-year-old son Ethan head for the house, some of its current occupants are still preening, despite being called downstairs to meet the new arrivals.
Oh my word. Ethan, be quiet, there's the baby sleeping. Oh, Ethan, look.
Oh, look at these sweet.
Oh, baby, look at this.
Straight away. Oh, look at these sweets, mommy.
Come on then.
She's quiet. She's very...
She's quite appropriate, isn't she, really?
Hello. All right. Ethan, look at this.
Where's the see Daddy's bears?
Oh.
We've seen the teddy bears, just had a few
Did you see
tears
him?
because he had to hold his microphone on.
Yeah. I'm Dave, by the way.
Hiya, I'm Danielle.
Right.
That's Ethan.
That's Becca.
Hi. Hi. Oh, look at him.
Where's Joey?
Yeah, you be careful.
Finally, after 20 minutes of intensive hair straightening, Becca, Paul and Lacey make their way down to meet the new arrivals.
Hello.
This feels very awkward, doesn't it? I mean, Paul's not really said hello. Oh, Paul!
Sweet's back.
Am I doing something?
Put the sweets down! Naughty!
I think we should send him to the naughty room. Stop eating sweets.
I should be in there later. I'm awful.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just too tempting, on it. We got taught. We should have seen it yesterday. It was full to the brim roll.
No child touched those sweets until Paul went in there, and now he's set them off.
It's just how we call.
Oh, no, it's all right, baby. She's too little to have a sweetie. Oh, no, you don't, madam.
No, not for you. No.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Danielle, let me introduce myself. I'm Elizabeth.
Hi.
I'm going to go over and just quickly say hello to Ethan. Hello. Can you tell me your name?
It's called Ethan.
It's called Ethan?
Yeah.
Shall I tell you my name?
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
With the introductions over,
Can you
it's back
remember
to
that?
business.
It's really hard. The sweets came back in this morning and I was really interested to hear a discussion between you guys about can we move them, what have we got to do, is it a test? In some ways, yes, the sweets are here to see how you manage them, but what I want to see is you manage them. Well done for moving the sweets. The one person who was, I loved it because we had this kind of like, can I move them? I'm gonna, and then you thought about here, and then you were like, no, hell, up here. And they went. Absolutely, that's what I want to see, taking action, yeah? Yeah?
No,
well done. That's the kind of stuff we want to see, yeah? You guys being in charge. This is your opportunity to do something different and to show us how you can kind of manage with the kids. See you later, guys. I'll get some more sorted out. Bye-bye, Paul. Bye, girls.
A clear message from Elizabeth, but Sammy Butters doesn't sound too keen.
Lovely.
We've got to get off our balls now. Yeah, but you know, to be honest, there's not much to do.
This idea that there is not much to do is really ticking me off.
Since they arrived in the house 24 hours ago, Paul and Becca have already had more ups and downs than most couples have in a lifetime. But so far, Paul hasn't let anyone in on how he's feeling, and Laverne thinks that if he wants their problem solved, then that has to change.
All right. So, I feel like this is my opportunity to get to know you a little bit more. Talk me through family life a little bit. Say it how it is. You live with your dad. You obviously don't live with your mum, so tell me a little bit about that.
Because she abandoned all of us when I was 5 years old. I just remember she just didn't turn up one weekend and she'd show up again.
So where does that leave you, Paul, in terms of how you think about being a parent and what it's like to be a parent?
It's just made you leave that. I don't want to abandon her like she did to me. I won't leave Lacey like that.
Right. But I'm reminded that, you know, one of the things that Becca said to me yesterday was that sometimes she feels that you say, if we split up, then I'm not going to see Lacey.
Yeah, no, I say that. But just say it, I'm not actually going to do it.
The message that you're giving her is, I'm going to hold you to ransom a little bit. If you don't let me stay, then that's it. I'm completely out of here. And that's an experience that you've had. So you know what that feels like. And that's what you're saying you're going to do for your little girl. Doesn't really make sense. Do you feel like you're in for the long haul? You're in this relationship for good?
I feel like I want to be, but the way it's going, it's not going to happen.
So if it doesn't happen, what sort of father are you going to be?
No, I'll probably end up being a weekend dad, just like everyone else does, my family.
It sounds to me from just the way in which the tone of your voice changed, that's absolutely not what you want. No. But I do feel that you have the power to be in control of this. And I think you also have to take on more responsibility for not falling into speaking to each other in a way that means that this relationship comes to a horrible end. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
You alright?
I'm a bit fed up, mate.
Yeah, what did she say to you then? Or don't you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. I don't know what she said to you in town. She said something.
She says she pushed a few buttons, what makes me angry.
Yeah, I know.
That's about the past.
That's why I cried the other day.
You know what past talking about, what makes me angry.
After opening up to Laverne, things do seem to have moved forward, and Paul and Becca seem to be finally communicating. Maybe the barriers are coming down between these two.
Don't worry about it, it's alright. It's all okay.
Mummy! I'm going in bedtime.
Danielle and Ethan Perkins have been in the house for just over an hour, and Danielle's happily chatting away to Becca.
Of them as a snack. And it's just juice and quavers.
So sensing he won't get any attention from his mum, Ethan tries to find some elsewhere. The first person he comes across is Paul.
You got me.
Get outside then.
Come downstairs.
Go outside.
It seems that Mum Danielle has her own reasons for leaving Ethan on his own.
But sometimes he doesn't like me fussing because he is independent. He's like, he doesn't want that constant being surrounded by, and he's not used to it because I don't do it at home.
My mummy's doing my nerves. Mummy's doing my nerves. Mummy's doing my nerves.
It's nice.
Even when we go to Rugrats, I leave him to go to the play area and I'll sit on the chairs and watch him, but I don't go in with him. I'm not with him all the time. It's, you know, he can do it. If he gets stuck or he hurts himself, he'll call me.
Paul has managed to make a sharp exit, but luckily good old David Butters steps in to give Ethan some much-needed attention.
Catch me! Catch me!
Go on then, you ready? Go on in.
I got my red bowing.
Go on in. Yeah, well done.
But with the triplets to look after, Ethan quickly gets sidelined and he ends up playing by himself.
I want you to bless me, mate! I want you to bless me!
Oh, look at that. Oh.
As part of their therapy, Danielle Perkins and her supposedly devil child Ethan have been given some painting to do so that Elizabeth can observe how they interact. But with this one-on-one attention, he's behaving like an angel, and there's no sign of his trademark bad language.
That whatever pattern could we do?
I go round and round.
You're going round and round, and you've made lots of colours there.
At home, this 21-year-old mum has frequent swearing matches with her 2.5-year-old son, and Elizabeth decides to confront Danielle about this worrying behaviour.
So tell me how you have got into the habit of swearing at a 3-year-old boy.
I don't know.
Danielle, what's going on?
I think it's just not being able to cope. It's not he was a naughty boy when I was with his father, because, you know, he wasn't a naughty boy. Every child has their moments, but I think everything changed then, and because I was on my own with a child. And
I get this sense that you feel quite trapped at home and actually get quite stressed with him about being at home. Why? Why are you staying at home with him?
I feel people look down at me, like older mums. They think, oh, young mum, she was a young mum, and you know, and when he throws a tantrum and I can't cope or I'm shouting at him, they think, you know.
Why do you think people are looking down on you?
I don't know. I just think because some people have that typical stereotype, don't they, of a teen mum.
Do you think that when you see other mums?
Sometimes, yeah, I do see teenage mums, obviously younger than me, and think, why have they had a child? And I feel I fall into that.
What we've seen so far is Ethan being actually very
Good
well
boy.
behaved. Yeah, and actually you being quite calm with him. So I'm a bit confused, so I want to show you something to start with.
As hard as it is for me to say, I think some of it comes from Danielle, because she gets quite wound up quite quickly with him, and then sometimes she will cuss at him and swear at him, tell him to go away, get out of her sight. And I think so a lot of the time I think Danielle is the instigator. She starts it and then he's just aggressive back. She used to be really good, but it seems to be getting harder and harder for her to be tolerant with him. He's only got to do the slightest thing and she explodes like a bottle of pop. And sometimes I even have to tell her to calm down and to stop giving him such a hard time, because he's only 2.
So we saw a clip of your mum there. What did you think seeing that?
She's right. Obviously, I can't, you know, because I'm shouting, I don't see what I'm doing wrong, but she obviously sees that when I'm at her house, she can see.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's not fair on him.
It's not fair on him. It's not fair on Ethan. Tell me what's not fair on him.
The way that I am with him. The shouting, the swearing. Telling him to go away.
Telling him to go away. What do you think that's like for Ethan, who's 3, for his mummy to say go away?
Not very nice at all.
I haven't seen you say go away to Ethan since you've been here, and I haven't seen Ethan show any bad behaviour. I think that's really important to highlight. Yeah? There is a link between what you are saying to Ethan, the words that you are using, and his behaviour.
His dad doesn't do it. He goes to his dad's and he's a happy boy.
How does that make you feel, that he's happy with Dad and he's not happy with you?
Awful.
So your main source of support is your mum, and the rest of the time it's you and Ethan on your own.
Yep.
Driving each other mad.
Yep.
Actually. I mean, things started to go wrong about a year ago, but they've been bad for a year, you're telling me.
They,
I mean,
and they did get bad as well last year because my granddad passed away, so I wasn't always there.
Come on. This has been so hard for you. Yeah? It takes a long time to recover from a bereavement like that. It has a big impact on you, and you've been through so much already, and this for me feels like the sort of straw that broke the camel's back, really. And in the middle of all this, there's Ethan's behaviour, drawing attention to, look, things aren't right.
Yeah.
Me and Mummy aren't getting on the best terms, and his behaviour just spikes out of control. What were you like at school? What were you like when you were younger? What was your confidence like then?
I don't know, just...
How was school for you?
No, it was alright. Well, I hated school for the first day of primary school till I'd finished secondary school. Didn't like going. My last 2 years at secondary school, I think I got to the point where I'd had enough. So I was a bit of a rebel. I didn't go to school. I'd tell my mum I'm not going to school today. If I did, I wouldn't do any working lessons, backchat teachers and stuff. I'm surprised I did all right on my GCSEs actually. You know.
So a bit feisty, a bit shouty, a bit like to argue, a bit like what we see goes on with Ethan. Because what I'm seeing at the moment is not a kind of big behavioural problem, something that I need to tackle. Actually, what I'm seeing here is when the setup is right, you guys can manage it. So I need to go away, talk with Laverne, and have a think about what we're going to do next with you guys, okay?
With Elizabeth's home truth sinking in, Danielle's had her first taste of what the others have had to take on board, and it's hit her hard.
You alright? Yeah. Oh, bless you. You alright? It's hard, isn't it? Took me in earlier on. I was biting my lip like. I had to.
Oh God, it's really bad. Not like bad in an awful way, but...
Yeah, it's on, doesn't it?
It's really
Makes
intense.
you realise. We've got more to go as well, we've got more days to go,
I just said to Elizabeth, I don't know how you cope with your 3 when I can't even cope with mine. I said, see you out here with your 4, and I moan about my my child.
Ah, everyone's different, aren't they?
Yeah.
What you got on there?
Oh, I'm all right. You going to play?
Get up.
Ready? Steady. Go. Oh, well done. Oh. Oh, that's a lovely cuddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a day! So Paul, who hasn't said anything, has finally opened up. So that's progress. Join us tomorrow to see how the Butters family are coping with their triplets and to see how newcomers Danielle and Ethan settle in. See them.
Oh, I'm hating this. It's
I'm not being awful, but I prefer to hang out with other couples.
Yeah.
He's giving me something that I can't cope with.